Community colleges are easy to love. They are definitely, I consider them one of the most innovative aspects of American, both public and higher education, because community colleges do occupy that ground and have, in many ways, been the Band-Aid of sorts between the challenges that our public school systems have had in producing particularly college-ready students, and then the other piece is providing the bridge for high school students to go into the professions. Particularly, I think the classic is the health sciences, and we have a very good portfolio at Chesapeake. It's doing very well. Our nursing program is doing much better than it was 2 years ago with NCLEX passage rates, that's the licensure exam for our students. Our rates are very good right now. Paramedic is expanded with some really innovative approaches to providing professional qualifications for working EMTs to upgrade their certifications, and that's doing very well. To some extent, all of higher ed is under extraordinary pressure right now. We no longer have one or two competitors. It might be regional, might be across the bay. We literally have thousands of competitors, and that's both the community colleges and the four-year and graduate levels institutions. With distance education, we're up against the University of Southern New Hampshire, we're up against Arizona State, we're up against the Penn State Global Campus. Even in Maryland, we've got some peer institutions that are really becoming very accessible statewide, and so those also, so we have a lot of competition. Now that being said, we do have our market. There are a lot of students not well served by distance learning models, particularly the trades and the skilled professions. There's a hands-on piece that only we can do, and we do it very well. But that being said, whether it's federal policy, whether it's the Kirwan Commission in the state of Maryland, that is very engaged in possibly redirecting resources and perhaps adjusting some of the models of how we deliver, for example, dual enrollment or career and technical education. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of things at play that are both immediate but also longer term and strategic, and I do believe more and more people are seeing the value of community college education, even if it's just 1 year or 2 years, to lower the cost overall. And if you combine that with dual enrollment, which of course we're doing a lot of that as well as an institution, the value is incredible. You can save a lot of money through dual enrollment when our student can, it's an outlier, but every year we have 1 or 2 students that have completed their associate degree and they're ready to go to four-year institutions upon graduating from high school. In fact, they graduate with their associate degree before they graduate with their high school degree. And that's just the potential. But even if you just have a semester or two under your belt, your gen ed, English, maths, electives that you can take with you, that value is extraordinary in terms of lowering the overall cost, even if it's just 1 year. Some students are very well served by very short-term skills training that gets them into the job market and gets them to an employer. First of all, help them pay for college, and second of all, make it clear to them the value of a college education, even in liberal arts and sciences. We've done a great deal of progress, particularly with IT and public safety this past year. Just prior to my arrival, we had a very significant level of investigation of our public safety stance. Prior to that, we had security on campus. They were officers they didn't carry firearms. They weren't necessarily trained to be law enforcement type of agents, and we have really upped our game. We're on our own for at least 5 to 7 minutes if we had a campus emergency of any nature. So we've adopted a professional public safety police force. All of our officers are prior, usually municipal officers, many of them coming from Easton, or in one case we have a former Dorchester County Sheriff officer. They're formally trained, they're well qualified. Many of them are established trainers in their own disciplines, whether it's canine operations or accident investigations or other pieces of the technology that law enforcement officers are expected to have. And they're all carrying firearms. And that was just something we determined as, given the times we live in, we have to have that on our campus. I'm continuing to build my leadership team. We've got a lot of young folks in new positions. They're either young in age or they're young in experience, and we want to solidify that team, and I think we've made good progress there. Our enrollment's slightly up, which is we're way ahead of our peers in the region. Most of our peer institutions are experiencing enrollment challenges this semester, and I'm not confident enough to say it's a trend, but we have turned around enrollment beginning last spring. We had higher enrollment last spring than the previous spring before that. We had a 15% increase in enrollment over the summer, and our increase for headcount this semester is about 4.5%, almost 5%. which is a significant improvement over our last 4 years. So I think what's going on is we've learned how to do things better. Our staff and faculty are taking care of their students, and I think the word is out that Chesapeake's in a good place. And the strategic plan really does lay out over the next 3 to 5 years where we want to be as an institution. And that means increased enrollment, increased retention of our students, and growing success of our students as measured in graduation and completion rates. We're in the process now of going down to the divisional level with key performance indicators, the plans, all the way down to the individual performance evaluation that focus the individual in each of our offices and our functions into accomplishing our goals that are set out in the strategic plan. And it focuses on student success, developing our employees, and continuing our work and providing better safety, both in terms of information technology and public safety, and also our outreach to our community, whether it's serving our business and industries we serve, but also our role as a cultural hub, as you mentioned before. But I think my general impression is the public perception of Chesapeake College is very positive right now. In addition to whatever we're doing that's going in the right direction, there's also been a lot of very positive public discussion of community colleges, dual enrollment, the cost savings, and the fact that we're just as rigorous in the 2 years of education an associate degree seeking student would get here as they would get anywhere else.